It's like that. It's like that.
Actually called workout app.
What did you say, JJ?
Workout app that Ken shared with you, isn't that app that's called workout? And it like shows you that plan?
Yeah.
Right. Is it good?
Yeah, it's called FitBod.
Yeah.
Let's go, y'all. All right, that's enough. That's enough music. Let's get down to business, y'all. All right, welcome to the party. If you're watching the replay, you should join us live next time, but I know you're busy, so let's get after it. All right. This training, my friends, this training is going to be unlike anything you've ever heard before, because this is about to just expand your perspective of what is possible. You know, everyone talks about abundance. And everyone talks about how it's like, it's like, oh, we live in this abundant world. Okay, who here feels, raise your hand if you don't feel abundant sometimes. Sometimes you're like, I feel kind of scarce, it's like not comfortable, right? Okay, I know we all have that. It's all good. It's all good. After this training, my goal, my outcome for you is that you have a new understanding and a plan to live abundance like you've never lived for real. Not just some bullshit meditation, not some abundance affirmations, not some binaural beats, abundance 369 frequency or whatever the hell that stuff is. JJ knows what I'm talking about. I'm talking a real practical plan of how you can talk to people, how you can message people, how you can set up your calendar, how you can set up your life, so that the outcome of that is abundance. Is everyone down for that? Throw in the chat if you're down for some abundance. Okay. And then I'm going to tell you a little story before we dive in. All right. Grab yourself pen and paper, because there's going to be a lot, especially for those of you who use TechnoTutor. Definitely some good phrases to put in. Okay. But I'm going to tell you the story first, and then we're just gonna go in, y'all. All right, we call this drinking from the fire hose, but is it a fire hose, or is it like drinking straight out of the udder of a cow? Okay, that's what it's gonna be like. Each of the udders, each of them. So there's like 6 udders on a cow. I don't actually know how many there are. Yeah. Put in the chat if you're ready to drink from the udder of the cow. Okay, in India they say that cows are holy. You're about to start thinking cows are holy too after this training. All right, so. Suck them udders, says JJ. It says yuck, Isabel. All right. So this happened to me the other day. I'm talking. So one is shout out Katie Cope. She's a great resource in this community. She's repping Self-Perfected from day one. And Katie got this cow. And they had their ranch in Texas and all that. And they're like have this cow with the baby calf and all this stuff that, kind of irrelevant details. But what does a cow represent? The cow represents limitless supply. As long as you feed the cow, take good care of it, you basically got unlimited milk. And this now ties in to various trainings, different success trainings, where you'll hear this idea of a cash cow, where all successful people, all elite people have a cash cow. It's a business that creates a certain amount of cash for them every single month. So just like the cow creates a certain amount of milk every month, every day, really, you have a business, or you can have your life set up in a way where you got cash coming out every month, okay? And then you can take a bath in the cash, you can spray those udders all over you, right? So you're just covered in it, right? That's the visual I want you to hold in your mind, okay? We're going to visualize this together, being covered in milk, okay? So I'm like half joking, but that's enough to break your patterns. So now you're open to this, okay? So Jessica, my wife, is now going, babe, we should get a cow. And for the first time, I was like, you know what? I think we actually might be ready for it. So a neighbor has cows. He's got like 40 cows. Last summer, he put cows in our back pasture, and the cows are actually a huge asset. I didn't even realize this. Now, if you live in an apartment or it's not practical to have a cow, don't go get a cow. That's not the point of this training. I'm not actually selling you on a cow. I'm selling you on the idea of a cow, how you can look at your life differently so you can make more money and have more self-perfection. But we're having this conversation with Jess. I'm like, damn, I think I just got sold on a cow. And wives have this ability. Shout out all the wives here. Shout out all the ladies in general. They got this ability to just use their words and mystify you. And next thing you know, you're like writing a check. You're like, damn, did I really just do that? But this time it actually clicked for me. I was like, this is why it makes sense to get a cow. Okay. Stay with me. Because, okay, who here has got a big vision for their life? Throw in the chat if you got a big vision for your life and tell us some of the big things on your vision board, right? Like you want to have a castle, you want to have a cow, you want to fly a private jet, you want to eat steak dinner every single night. Like throw some of the stuff in the chat, and write it down in your pen and paper too, because you got to always be thinking about your goal. That's a key part of this. We'll get to that in a minute. Land, says Drake. Drake, are you gonna have a cow on your land so you can make unlimited chocolate milk for you and your wife and your baby? I'm guessing so. All right.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Put some other stuff about your vision. All right. You gotta always stay clear on that vision. So for us, I'll just share about the vision for a moment. Then we'll get into the nitty gritty here. Is a golf estate. Cool. I don't even know fully what that means, but I like it. I think we go golfing. We'll go with Mashoto and go golfing. Okay. So Jessica is a genius at selling me on this, because she goes, hey, we have all the space in the backyard. We already have a shelter for it. The previous owners have like a shelter that they left up. There's a whole pasture and everything for the cows. But then Jessica explained this. She goes, hey, but think about this. Imagine as our home turns into an education center where we can have families and kids who have never seen animals before, never seen a garden before. They don't even know where their food comes from. Now imagine they come to our house and they get to like milk the cow. They get to pet a cow. They get to, Drake, I'm just gonna make you co-host. And then boom. Okay. So now imagine these kids, right? They get to come to the house. They get to experience what it's like to have an animal. Yeah, like a petting zoo, but like a 10, like a self-perfected petting zoo. Like not just pet the animal, like you get to ride the cow. I don't know if you can ride a cow, but you can ride horses. I'm still not sold on horses. But so this is the vision. And then you have cows, and then you can have like goats and things and all that. And it's like, I know that's not for everybody, but how cool would it be to be able to have that, right? Where you're able to have a dynamic environment you can be in. This is super key. An environment you can be in. Because think, if you're all just hanging out inside, sitting on the couch, having a conversation, that's cool. But if you're out petting a cow, you're walking outside, you're getting fresh air, you're getting the sunlight. It's like that can be a space for people to have a breakthrough. Does that make sense? Does it make sense how the space you're in can actually change your level of thinking? Like, I remember this. So we have this garden in our front yard. Not right now because it's like snowy outside and raining. But shout out people in the chat. Chats are always lit on this. But I remember this one time. I was hanging out in the garden last spring and we were like planting some stuff. And I was like really stressed out because I was so focused on the business and I was like, I have to like go work and I have to like go be in work mode. Anyone know what I mean? Like work mode. I know it gets stuck in work mode where you think you have to be all productive. You're really busy. And I actually forced myself because I was like, hey, we have to plant these tomatoes or whatever the hell I was planting. We have to plant them by today. Screw it. I'm just going to go for an hour in the garden. I'm just going to put on an audio and I'll just work on the business. I'll work in my mind. I'll just like think about it and, whatever. And I'll just plant these tomatoes. But I was like, I need to be working. I need to be busy. See, this is self-perfection, my friends, is where you can see you have limited thinking and you got to break through. So I'm in the garden. I'm listening to this audio. It's just like YouTube video. It's like a business training. And I had an insight from that training when I was not quote unquote working, because I was out in the sunshine, hanging out in the garden, wasn't in my office, typically working. And I had such a profound breakthrough. It was something that would have likely taken me an entire year to understand. I grabbed it from one audio. And I had actually heard the audio before and I missed it. And technically, if you're wondering, well, what was the breakthrough? I need to know the breakthrough, right? It was this idea of, it's called the rule of 100, where if you're running a business and you're ever stuck, the rule of 100 is just if you reached out to 100 people every single day for the next 10 days, there's no way you're not going to have a shortage of business. And again, I had heard that before, but because I was in a new environment, I was like, wow, that was profound. I was like, oh my God. And I actually implemented it. And then my business took off again. So my reason for saying that story is sometimes your breakthrough will come from a place that you don't expect it. And sometimes you got to change your environment because that will change your mental state. It will change your perspective and all of that. So if you're used to just wake up, get on my laptop, start typing in, sending emails and whatever the hell you do, and go to the office and drink my coffee and all this. Yes, you got to just put in the reps. I'm not saying now go switch your pattern every day. Don't do that. That'd be stupid. But I'm going to encourage you throughout the rest of this training this evening, really start to look at how can I expand my perspective? How can I expand my environment? Maybe I need to go for a walk once a day. Maybe I need to get some more fresh air. Like there's certain things that you might be doing. Yeah. That's Isabel put in the chat. That's why we all need to go to conferences. Genius, specifically the self-perfected one. Because sometimes you'll be hanging out on the beach or you'll be in the hot tub. Like one more, and then I promise we'll get into the material. I had a breakthrough in Mexico. I was hanging out with Cameron. We were at a gin event. I think it's Mexico. Yeah. And I was like really starting to grasp the bigger picture of self-perfected and techno-tutor. I'm like, oh man, you're telling me we're getting into politics. I'm like, geez, I'm scared to get into politics. I had like pictures of me online where I was like drunk. People are going to like post that. I'm like all worried and shit. And I remember I was swimming in the pool with Cameron. So there was no phones, nothing near us. So I was like, okay, if the NSA is listening to me or CIA is listening, they'll never hear this. So I'm like, Cameron, is the goal really to get into politics? Because like, what if they're like listening to our phones? And Cameron just looked at me, started laughing. He's like, well, Trump got it, didn't he? And he just swam away. And I just started laughing because I was like, wow. Like it might seem so small to you guys. You might be like, that's a stupid fucking story. But that moment changed so much because now these thoughts in my mind of, if we're going to get famous and then people are going to try and blackmail me and all this shit, even though I don't have anything to be blackmailed about, and more just be like stupid pictures of me being drunk. But I'm like, I can let go of that thought. But again, did it happen when I was sitting at my desk grinding away? No, it happened in a pool at a nice resort in Mexico. So point one for you to write down is, here's a question for you. I would write down the question so you can revisit it, is how can I expand my environment? How can I expand my environment to support me even better? That's the other part, to support me even better. How can I expand my environment to support me even better? Okay. That is question one. And we'll keep coming back to that and you can play around with that idea. But that is where this cow and the idea of having this cow really started to open my eyes because, like, damn, yeah, that would be kind of crazy having a cow because I have to, like, you know, I told Jess, I'm like, I ain't milking that thing. Maybe once a week I'll milk it, but you got to milk it. She's like, yes, I understand. But I'm like, hey, you know, if I'm out in the stable hanging out with a cow, I might have some new ideas about my life. Okay. So next, let's get into the real training here. Okay. That's enough messing around. So first is this idea of abundance. If you've never done a word web, this is what's going to allow you to see the abundance you already have. Here's the thing. You have an abundance of bullshit, most likely. Someone goes, abundance. Oh yeah, I'm gonna feel good. So here's task. Here's the next task, the next item. Okay. I want you for 30 seconds to just write the word abundance on your piece of paper. Okay. And you don't have to share this with anyone, but be brutally honest with yourself. The more honest you are, the better. And I want you to draw a little bubble, a little circle around the word abundance. I want you to write 5 to 10 other words that pop up. So you look at abundance, what other words come up? And don't just write money because you think it should be that. The real shit, okay? So if the word scarcity pops up, okay? Like, get the real stuff because we'll work with this in a moment, okay? But abundance, 30 seconds on the clock. Boom. Place a little bit of the music. Ten seconds. Okay, there you go. That was that insightful, everyone? We don't have much time to like call on people, but is there one person who can share an insight they had from looking at what words are connected to the word abundance?
Unattainable.
Unattainable. Ooh. Ooh-wee. Wow. I thought this group was all about just being positive. What the hell, Isabel? I think you're in the wrong group. Just kidding. If you're a newcomer, we're all about looking at the negative, change it so you can actually have abundance. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, Sean. You muted yourself. Or you got muted.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Actually, greed was one of the words that came up. It was like one of the last words that came up. It was like surprising to me.
Greed, you say? Hey, all right. All right. Thank you, Sean. Really good share. Really good share. Beverly put in the chat. She said the word lack. Okay. And Michael Matthew said perpetual marketing sales presentation. Cool. Okay. So this will all make sense throughout this training. Okay. But what I want to just start opening up, I'm going to plant this seed, is the real cash cow, the real cow in your life that will give you infinite milk and you will have real abundance, is your vocabulary, your understanding, your structure, how you see your world, how you interpret your reality, how you interact with reality. It's the one thing that will either give you sour milk and screw you over, or it's the thing that will actually allow you to have infinite amounts of potential. And it's so vocabulary is so misunderstood in this world. People remember vocabulary from school and they're like, oh yeah, second grade, I learned these words. And you're like, no. Your vocabulary is what you can do, what you see. It's how one person can look at a cow and go, that's something stupid for farmers. And another person looks at a cow and goes, that's something that I'm going to use to create food and resources for my family and community. It's like, it's still a cow. It's how do you see it? Okay. So now you got abundance. Now you got a little track record for you of what's going on with your own inner cash cow, AKA your vocabulary. Next, ecosystems. Okay. I want to touch on ecosystems for a moment. So if you have a cow, but you're not putting in any new input, are you going to keep getting the output? You get a cow and you just have it standing on some dirt and it's just like licking the dirt. Imagine that. Imagine licking dirt. Okay. Imagine that. Would you think you'd be thriving? Probably not. No, it's actually guaranteed you would not be. But imagine this cow is in a good environment where there's the ecosystem and it's got sunshine, it's got grass, it's not being fed GMOs all day long. It's like it's fed well. So look at this practically for yourself. What are the new inputs that you need to put into your life to create more of the outputs, aka that amazing, delicious cow milk that you want, right? Which is actually just like money and resources and stuff. Okay. So here's the next question for you. Take a shower with the cow, says Marsha. You could do that. The cow could shower you in milk too. Okay. So here's the question. What are the new inputs I need? Question mark. What are the new inputs I need? That's good. Izzy said self-forgiveness on the word abundance. That's great. That's really great. Yeah. Okay. Other inputs. Some examples of new inputs could be new connections, new phone numbers of people, new environments to be put in. Maybe you actually need to get a cow. Maybe you need to have a certain conversation with someone. That's going to be a new input into your system so you can start to change. Maybe it's new books you got to read. So what are the new inputs you got to put into your system? Because again, everything in life is a big ecosystem. It's all interconnected. And if your inputs are not clear, good luck. Okay, if you give a shitty input, what are you going to get for the output? Shitty input equals blank output. Yeah, shitty, right? It should be so obvious, but then like we eat like GMO foods. We're like listening to like stupid music on the radio. We're just like giving ourselves shitty inputs and then we wonder why, right? Now here's the other thing to tie it in with what we're talking about, the real cash cow. This is a very high level concept. This is why it's the Wednesday night training, y'all. Okay, this is kind of extreme, but I'm just gonna say it. Okay, I'm not holding back. The inputs that you got from your first 7 years of your life and your childhood, those ones are really strongly held in you. That would be like in the cow, in the most formidable years, like when it was in the womb and it's like, the first 6 months of its life, and you just fed it really bad fucking food, like genetically modified Doritos and like lead-filled water and like dirt, and it didn't get enough sun. It was in a factory and it got a bunch of like crazy vaccines that it didn't need. And now you're like, okay, this cow got to give me good milk. And then you're drinking the milk. You're like, why does it taste so bad? Okay. It's because now bring it back to your life. It's a big analogy for your life. Your vocabulary, your way of interpreting the world, that structure within you. If it had all the shitty inputs in your childhood, it's still in there. Like the word abundance. Like technically, the word abundance should be just a plentiful amount, having more than enough. Like when you did that word web earlier and the first or second part of this training, abundance, it should have just been like a lot, abundance, plentiful, plenteous, more than enough, that should be the words. Unfortunately, not everyone had that. That's cool. Here's good news. You get to change the cow at the deepest level, right? We get to detox that cow. So that's part of what this training is. It's here to plant the seeds, right? This training can only go so far. You need certain tools and certain processes to go all the way, but that's cool. That's cool. This will paint a picture for you. Okay. Next up, I got 1, 2, 3. 3 more things. Okay. 3 more things. Is this helpful so far, everyone? Finding some value in this? Drop in the chat if you're enjoying this. Okay. Okay, good. I'll keep going. Just kidding. I know this is good stuff. It's just like pretty high level stuff. Okay. Next, my friends. This one too. This one will make you cry. First, it'll be tears of pain, then tears of joy. Okay. So let's just go through this together. Has anyone here ever procrastinated on something? Like recently, like past few days? Have you procrastinated on something? I don't even know what it is, but just you got to know what it is. Okay. Now look at it like this. Your procrastination. When you delay and you procrastinate, it doesn't just, it's not like you can just go, oh, okay, I'll just make it up and it's fine. Look at it again, cow analogy. Dude, I'm realizing more and more how genius this cow analogy is. Okay, imagine you have a cow and you know you got to bring him water and food. And then you delay. But now that cow is actually dehydrated. And now his body starts wasting away. It's not like there's no consequence now because you procrastinated. Does that make sense? It's like a lot of people go, I'll just procrastinate. And then on next Tuesday, I'll feel like it. Okay, yeah, Tuesday, I'll feel like it. Okay, I'll just do it on Tuesday. No big deal. Who fucking cares? It's just Tuesday. When in reality, every day that goes by, that cow's brain is fucking degrading. And that cow's milk, it's like at a certain point, it's past a point of no return. Like I'm sure some of you know, if you have a cow and you're milking it and you don't milk it fast enough, it gets mastitis or whatever, uderitis, I don't know what you call it, but it gets inflammation, right? So you can't milk it, right? And then at a certain point, it will shut down milk production. Are you going to let your life get to the point where you shut down the production? Because some of you are procrastinating, like you're cool with that. Where you're like, I know I got to get in the relationship. I know I got to do this. Okay. Thank you, Christine. Thank you for fact checking me. It is mastitis. If you're watching the recording, I now know. See, I'm still learning too. We're all still learning. We're in the process together. But really, like the way that we're acting with our procrastination, we're acting like there's no big deal. But in reality, if you're not careful, you will hit a point of no return. I want y'all to write down in all capitals on your pen and paper, the point of no return. Okay. The point of no return. Yeah. Machoto. Yeah. It is a mind-blowing way to look at procrastination. It's like we live in this world. Okay. So the point of no return. And here's going to be the question for you. I apologize if I go all over the place. If you can process what I'm saying, though, you'll see it all makes total sense. Okay. So the point of no return. Are you going to hit the point of no return? There's two options here. One, point of no return is you procrastinated too long and you fucked yourself over and now you can never fix it. That's one point of no return. And I wish for you that you don't choose that one. The other point of no return is saying, I'm at the point of no return. I'm never going back to my old life. I'm going to be successful no matter what. I'm going to have the success. I'm going to have the vocabulary, the resourcefulness, the abundance, all that. And I'm never returning back to my old self. All right. So which one are you going to be? All right. That's a question for you. Let's go. Choice number two, Veronica NY. Shout out, Veronica. You rock. All right. So to bring it back now to this point about procrastination, because again, you don't feed that cow, you don't give it the water, that thing will die. We got these chickens right now. And man, sometimes I don't give them enough water. And it's like, I hustle out there. I'm like, oh, sorry guys. Like I got to give them enough water because it could severely harm them. So in your life, ask yourself this, where are you procrastinating? And what's a simple step to take? Where am I procrastinating? What's a simple step to take? Because then we're about to make it all come full circle with a really cool phrase. Really cool phrase. All right, we're going all out, y'all. We only got 11 more minutes. Gonna maximize this. Point of no return, baby. Okay, so write down your procrastination thing. And then this, something very important. It's a phrase. I've said it many times, but I'm going to say it again. It's called no hurry, no pause. No hurry, no pause. It's like a Zen type statement. It actually comes from the Navy SEALs. But so now you got your thing that you're procrastinating on. You got your step to take. You're aware that you want more abundance in your life. You want to have your cash cow, which is your internal world. Now, you might be tempted to hurry. Hurry! Make 12 phone calls. Rush. I got to do this. Better hurry. No, don't hurry. Because you'll end up tripping and falling. But also don't pause anymore. Because remember, too much mastitis, no more milk for you. No milk for you. So, what is the best way forward? No hurry, no pause. You just take action. And guess what happens when you do this? It is the best fucking feeling ever of momentum. At least personally for me. Like that feeling of momentum, I love that feeling of where you're moving, you're growing, you're getting shit done every day. It's fun, it's exciting. And you would be amazed how much you can do when you don't pause and you don't hurry. And what I've noticed is that now when you're crushing it, I call it the cutting edge. You can write this one down. I call it walking the cutting edge. I actually got it from Bernard. It was I don't know what it is, but it's about the cutting edge. Where now you're doing the thing every day. And now instead of procrastinating and entering that whole world, no, point of no return, baby. We're never going back to that. Now it's just practically, what do I have to do? What do I have to get done? Bite-sized pieces, get it done. Bite-sized pieces, get it done. Walking, step, step, step. You don't have to sprint. You don't have to run. You don't have to do hula hooping. You don't have to do backflips. You just got to walk. You just got to walk and talk. You got to walk and talk, okay? So that is that. That is that point. Next, okay? We're making great time, y'all. Making great time. So you got your cash cow, which we're realizing is actually our internal state, our vocabulary, how we take on the world, how we look at things, how we interact with things, because we are abundant. Straight up, there's an abundance in the world. There's nothing lacking. It's just we have a system on top of it, which is all screwy. It's all messed up. So what we're doing here is we're getting more clear on how and why we can walk the process to just always have that abundance, like a never-ending supply of the milk, okay? So here is the last 2 points. One, I would write this down. It's a phrase. It's called execution intelligence. Cool word. Execution intelligence. So this is now after you've got the hang of caring for your cow, your cash cow, figuring out your good process for it. You know, you're in good environments, ecosystem's good, managing your inputs, your outputs. It's all going well, right? It's all coming together. It's all coming together. Over time, you develop, it's called your execution intelligence. Like what I mean by execution is when you're executing a task. If you're like, okay, grab the udder, pull the udder, right? You executed the task of pulling the udder. If you're like, go on to Zoom for the training, you executed the task of going on to Zoom for the training. You know, you got your thing you got to do. That's execution. But there's something called execution intelligence, which is how do you see it? How do you understand it? What's your comprehension of what the hell is going on? So if you're just executing blindly, not getting feedback, not getting smarter, good luck. But when you have execution intelligence, it actually comes, it's another word for confidence. It's another word for confidence because it builds the more you do the thing. The more you actually go do the task, build yourself, grow, talk to people, do the thing you got to do, build your system. And intelligence builds. And that is very fun. Because this now ties into the last point. Told you, I promised the whole time. There's like a golden thread that goes through the whole thing and it all comes together. So now, as you build your execution intelligence and you're growing your whole system, here's how you guarantee you always have an endless supply of abundant milk from your cash cow, AKA an abundance of opportunity. You never run out of money, anything. Is as your execution intelligence grows, you will find other people around you who also have execution intelligence. It might be in the exact same field, it might be similar. For example, I know if I'm ever stuck in my process of how I think and how I'm interacting and all that, I can give Drake a call because I know Drake has been through it and it's very similar. Or like Leah's on here. Leah and I had a great chat the other day too, and we were talking about what we're noticing in our level of execution intelligence. She's building a clubhouse, and she's recruiting people to the event, and she's growing and being an awesome mom and wife and everything. And we were sharing stories of what we're seeing is working and what we see could improve. And that process right there, that brings it full circle to, at the beginning, we were talking about environment. When your environment is full of people like you, smart people, intelligent people, people on the process, people applying themselves, you will never, ever go wanting. You will never lack. You still got to pick up the phone. So if you're struggling and you're like, I'm all messed up and I don't know what to do and I'm this, guess what? This is the freaking golden key. This is the unlimited milk supply, okay? Is you have the environment, the network, the community, and you make that phone call and you go, hey, I'm kind of fucked up. I don't really know what to do. And then you get that advice. And then you go execute. You build your execution intelligence. You get smarter, everything grows. But that support system is here to stay. And it's only going to keep growing. And a lot of us, because again, remember abundance in our mindset's all messed up, and we say things like unattainable or lack or scarcity or, But in reality, this is now the process of us redefining what abundance is. And it's this right here, this community. This process, these tools, this understanding, these resources, your internal state, your vocabulary, and your network, your community. All of that combined is your cash cow. Because the cash cow, it doesn't just spit out milk for no reason. It doesn't just give you cash for no reason. It's a result of you doing the right things, building the execution intelligence, being surrounded by the right people to help it ongoing, keep growing and expanding. And if you ever have a moment where you go, oh, but what specifically do I have to do? One, you probably know what you got to do if you really just gave yourself the space and time to think it through. Two, you can also reach out for support anytime because this group is extremely active and it's only going to get more active. So that, my friends, is your inner cash cow. It's how you will never, ever run out of milk. And you might have a day where you're like, oh, no, there's no milk coming out. Guess what? You call your friend and they go, oh, hey, I got so much milk. I don't even know what to do with it. Here, have some. We're literally building an economy. So no matter what happens in the world, automation, AI, UBI, basic income, all this stuff, right? Recessions, all this stuff. That shit is irrelevant. Because when you have this economy of high performers, like-minded people, and this keeps growing and you keep sharing and you keep showing up, there is more than enough in this world. And you'll never have to worry again, and you never have to participate in fear again, because that's just ego, fear, ego, isolation. It's all the same thing. And the only way you will ever run out of milk in your cash cow is if you isolate. Okay. So my friends, that is a training. Wow, we're 4 minutes ahead of time. We got plenty of time. Anyone got, if you want to put your top takeaway in the chat, you can. Otherwise, we have a moment to just hear from some people. What resonated from that? What was the most valuable part, or any questions?
Man, I loved what you shared about procrastination. If you procrastinate, you'll get mastitis, and then you won't be able to make any more milk at all. It's a great point.
Is it not true? Like, it's
true.
so accurate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice. Thanks, Jake. Veronica.
Hi. So to me, it was the no hurry, no pause. And right when you said it, I was like, I wrote equals consistency. And it reminded me of a conversation that I was having with a friend of mine today. I was reaching out saying hi, and he's like, oh, you coming from the gym? And I'm like, yeah, I was I'm doing some jumping rope or whatever. And then he was like, oh, really? That's so cool. How many are you doing, right? And then I'm like, actually, I'm starting really slow but consistent. I'm doing 3 sets of 10, but I'm doing it every day, whether I go to the gym or not. And he's like, oh yeah, that's nice too. And I was like, actually, that's the best, because what good would it be for me to do 1,000 one day and then not do any more at all? So that brought me to that memorization of what you're saying with everything that we're up to. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Veronica. Kind of like doing TT. Some people are like, I did techno tutor for 5 hours. And then they just like go into like, it's like too much. Nice. Thanks, Veronica. Awesome work. Mashoto, did you want to share something? I saw you unmute.
No, yes, thanks, Mitch. No, for me it was like Drake. It was the procrastination part, that if I procrastinate, I'm dying. If I'm not doing the things, I'm dying, you know? So that got to me because I procrastinated for a couple of days just now. So that's not gonna happen again.
Awesome. Awesome. So good. See, that's this in action right here, right now. That's us. That's the community supporting each other. We got Isabel, then we got Gaitan.
Yeah, I just like the point of the vocabulary. Sometimes sometimes we can want to rush the vocabulary point in doing techno tutor, but it took us, well, I'm 54, I'll be 54. It took me this long to get here. So it's going to be consistently me using techno tutor for me to develop that vocabulary that I need to be at the level that I want to be. So just knowing that and knowing that I need to be consistently doing it, and it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight.
Yes. Yes. That's great, Isabel. Thank you for sharing. And Gaitan, your final share, Gaitan, okay?
Hello. Yes, I have my hat because my son wants me to wear it. Anytime I take it off, he would come and bring it to me. So I put it on. Okay, so the point is, my point is the procrastination. The procrastination point is a huge point for me. And what I've noticed is sometimes I will be not procrastinating, getting everything I want to get done, be done. I will keep moving forward. And as soon as one thing, like just a little, very petty point will get into my mind, and that little idea will get me going along with it, and I will start procrastinating a bit by a bit. And at some point, I will discover myself very close to the point of, how did you call it? The point of no return, or like at some point, like, I'm too far from my goal right now, you know? And that thing is what happened to me last month. I would just go a little bit away from my son. Like, it gets me to that, and he's following me. Is he there? Okay, come. So it gets me to that point where I miss my goal completely. And when I reflect on the whole month of February, I could get my goal. I could get it. But I just, at some point, slowly but surely, not start doing less and less and less and less and less. And at some point, I have no consistency. And I'm like, okay, fuck off. Like, okay, this month is done. So I give up on this month. And by the end of the month, I'm like, hell no. Why? No, let's get back to work. And I get a little bit close to my goal by the end of the month. But still, I could, if I use that no rush, no pause, I won't be there. So the phrase no rush, no pause make me feel like, okay, I don't have to rush. I can take a pace, or a, what would be the proper word for it? The fast, not the fast, la vitesse. I don't know the word in English. But like I should take a beat that is good for me and just keep moving on that beat. And the speed, yes. Thank you, Megan. The speed, the good speed, the speed in which I feel a little bit comfortable, maybe a little bit more than that, and not rush, but never stop and keep moving. So that's what I will be learning from now, to not repeat the same mistake I made on the February month.
Hey. Thank you, Gaitan. Yes, speed. Hey, there's a really cool word. We'll end it with this. It's the word Godspeed. It's all one word. If you have techno tutor, put it through there. Godspeed.
A successful journey.
Yeah, great word. Awesome, y'all. Well, thank you for being on. That was the training for tonight. Now go just make sure you re-look over those notes at some point. Like there's some good questions on there, especially the stuff about expanding your environment. You know, I know we kind of rushed through it. So yeah, really sit with this, use it, integrate it, and then never, ever forget the cash cow is you, your vocabulary, what you can do, combined with all of us collectively, and you'll never ever go wanting again. Now let's just go share it with the world so that the world can really change. Cool. I will put it all. We'll have it out of. It's always in the Facebook group, the recordings. Otherwise, we have a playlist of these saved, and I'll make sure that's circulated. So, cool. All right. Also, last point. Everyone, for the event, got some good news. We'll make a big announcement on Friday. But we negotiated with the hotel, so we'll have a cool update for you on Friday. But keep your eye on the emails. See you on the Friday Hangouts. I'm looking forward to making this the best year yet, y'all. All right, let's go do it. All right, bye everyone. Thanks.
Bye, man.